Today, we head into a dangerous land, unknown land, land that can seem scary, but it's very important. We're heading to the bottom of the rankings. We're talking about how can we predict who is going to be a breakout player? Had a couple breakouts this year. Michael Wilson, congrats, buddy. Brissett stepped in. MHJ was resting on there playing COD with Kyler Murray. And now Michael Wilson, breakout season, 20 plus points per game. Kyle Pitts, breakout season. He had a great rookie season. He's been AFK the last 3 years. And then 2025, a wham bam. Thank you, Kirk. Kirk doesn't rhyme. Well, I'm thinking Scams Arnold, Scam Ward. But we got 2025 Kyle Pitts, 13 points per game. Tight end 4. Okay, buddy. Now, if you look at the actual game logs, he had a 46-point bomb that's definitely carrying the weight of that average. But how do we predict what players will have the breakout? And who is up next? We have a list of a bunch of great breakout candidate players, guys to go trade for a bag of chips. And they ain't very expensive poker chips. We're talking about like freaking Lay's original, not even a good flavor, right? So these are guys you can get for absolutely great value currently. So let's take a look at Kyle Pitts first and just see how did he have his breakout season? Look at one thing. When you look at this, what are the two most important things that jump out to the screen on you? The two most important things you should be seeing here is snap rate and targets, because that's really what this boils down to. To predict the breakout, it doesn't matter how talented you are, right? Like, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I could be in the NFL. I could be a 2,500 receiving yard per season receiver if I was given 3 million targets a year. And that's just the reality of it. So it all comes down to the opportunity that you are given. Kyle Pitts, the 3 trash seasons, he was only playing 63-65% of the snaps. You see his snap share at the highest it's been throughout his career, 88%. And you also see the quarterback, new quarterback, giving him looks. So you want to be, taking things into account like changes of scenery. Is the receiver going to have a new quarterback? Is the tight end going to have a new quarterback? Is that a good upgrade or a downgrade? And you got to think about the surrounding pieces. If you have someone that's a wide receiver 2, like Michael Wilson, and you're telling me the wide receiver 1's going to be out, well, guess who's the next man up? You can really see this in a great context with Wan'Dale Robinson here. Who Wan'Dale Robinson, he's had 2 back-to-back decent seasons because you've had some injuries to the guys in the surrounding core. You can even just take a look at what happened after Neighbors went down. Look at his targets, guys. Wan'Dale Robinson, double-digit targets per game. And this is some of the stuff you need to be thinking about when predicting who the next breakout player is. And that's what we're going to be doing today. I did it for you. So now you can just listen. And you can just listen and you'll hear my reasoning. You'll see the reasoning. You'll be able to apply this going forward forever. If you appreciate the effort, please smash like and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of y'all watching. Helps us out as a good small channel. We're trying to grow here and trying to grow, making an impact on your Dynasty lineup. Who's next? Honestly, the first name I have on here, it's pretty funny. Like Kyle Pitts broke out, but the price did not react. Kyle Pitts, he just had his breakout season. He just had his tight end 4 season. And if we look at the tight end rankings, they ain't trusting Michael Penix. And it's true. Michael Penix is potentially a quarterback downgrade here, but tight end 4 finish, and he's currently ranked as the tight end 6, tight end 7. Interesting. So I'm not necessarily arguing against his tight end 7 rankings. I do like Sam Laporta. I like Kraft. I like Fana. I like the guys around, over him. I'm just saying in terms of his overall rank, why in the world is Derrick Henry above him? Why is Devontae Adams above him? Why is Metcalf above him? Why is Pittman above him? Why is Pearsall has some upside, but he's way too injury prone? Why is he above him? Why is McLaurin above him? Sutton, he's 35. Why is he above him? Quentin Johnston, Mr. Volatile best ball asset. No. So what I'm saying here is that Kyle Pitts is too undervalued for what he is currently being priced as. Now, I would not be surprised if Kyle Pitts were to come back with the Falcons, because guess what? He is a free agent. A change of scenery could actually be a good thing here because he could go to a better system. I think he probably stays with the Falcons. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But if he stays with the Falcons, which I predict, I think it could be a downgrade temporarily. But I think that we don't see Pitts back down below 10 points per game ever again, unless Penix is absolutely just as bad as JJ McCarthy. And then we could see some growing pains But then they'll probably be quick to replace him. New coaching staff, a lot on the line there in Atlanta. I like Pitts as the first name to cement the breakout and really jump up in the rankings. Name number 2. Let's scroll down, baby. Scroll all the way down. Uncharted, dangerous lands. Isaac TeSlaa. Strap the seatbelts on. Things are going to get bumpy on this ride, right? Go with me on this journey here. Dan Campbell. What does he do to his receivers that are rookies? He makes them earn it. You want to see some proof? How about Amon-Ra St. Brown? Cornerstone Amon-Ra St. Brown. Rookie season. Worst year of his career. 13.3 points per game. 75% snap rate. Lowest snap rate of his career. Lowest targets of his career. Lowest receptions. Lowest receiving yards. Lowest touchdown rate of his career. He made Amon-Ra earn it. Jameson Williams. Now, Jameson Williams. Okay. 6. 2 point per game average. 6 point per game average. Now, Jameson Williams was obviously coming off of the brutal injury. And he also decided to go gamble away his life savings. And, he's driving strapped up in the car and not with the seatbelt, if you get what I'm saying. So there's off-field concerns here. But you can see that with Amon-Ra and Jameson, things have not necessarily been smooth sailing earlier in their career. We take a look at TeSlaa compared to Jameson. He actually had a better rookie season, 4.7. But you can see that the snap rate here is something that hindered him back. This guy's touchdown rate was very high for how limited amount of targets and opportunities he got. Like, you can look at his touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 6 touchdowns. And I'm not going to do the math here on his, or maybe we can see if there's a way to just find his total targets here. He had 27 targets? Yeah, so this is saying he had 27 targets, which I'm hoping that's correct. But listen, he had an insanely high touchdown rate. He's a good, athletic, big-bodied receiver. And we just talked about Jameson Williams being strapped up, not in the car with the seatbelt. There's some off-field concerns there with Jameson. There's some on-field injury concerns too. He's a fast player, plays hard. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amon-Ra is going to be there. Amon-Ra, he's a tough guy. He does not get injured. And if he's injured, he plays through it. TeSlaa, I could see him sliding in if Jameson Williams, something happens to him. Now, if Jameson goes down, you're also going to have the return of Sam Laporta. He'd probably be the number 2 in this offense, and Gibbs would probably be above TeSlaa as well. So there's a lot of mouths to feed here, but I just see that in the next 2 seasons, right? I'm not saying 2026, but I'm saying by 2027, I think TeSlaa will definitely be somebody averaging closer to 8 or 9 points per game, and he's really going to be one step away from getting the opportunity here to really shine. We saw the red zone rate, man. The red zone rate was immaculate. And with Dan Campbell under the helm, giving this guy a bigger chance, he's a good blocker as well in the run game. He will earn his opportunity. So I am in on an Isaac TeSlaa breakout. It's just a matter of him getting the opportunities. I'm convinced on the talent. Similar story here with Terrance Ferguson. I think Terrance Ferguson has shown me enough that he can be a valuable player. This is somebody that had some buzz coming out of the draft, especially in rookie redrafts. He didn't really capitalize this season in terms of production. But we did see flashes towards the end of the year and throughout the playoffs. The Rams tight end situation has always been murky. Colby Parkinson's there. Tyler Higbee's there. They're really more older vets, and they always seem to be banged up. Stafford took a liking to this guy later on in the season, and the green flag here is his snap rate continued to increase over the last couple of weeks and into the playoffs. He's getting more ops. Stafford's coming back for 2026. What you have to hope here if you go target Terrance Ferguson, the breakout has to come, HASTO, has to come while Stafford is still alive. Why? Because if Ferguson, he's going to be with the Rams for 4 years, rookie contract. When Ferguson, it's 2027, and you're going to have Stetson Bennett at quarterback. Puka Nacua is going to have a down year. What do you think is going to happen to Terrance Ferguson? He's not even going to be used. You got to make yourself relevant in the offense and earn targets this next season with Matt Stafford. And while you have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, top 10 QB of all time, under helm, that is a great situation for Ferguson to thrive. And this is really going to be, we'll get clarity pretty soon, because if it doesn't click next year, then honestly, it's something where you just re-roll and probably shoot for somebody else in the next following season. Mason Taylor. Who is the Jets wide receiver room? John Mechie? Garrett Wilson, who can't stay healthy and honestly averages 12 points per game anyway because they're so bad? Who is the Jets tight end? It's Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor is going to get targets. He was targeted a decent amount as a rookie. He was running a decent amount of snaps, a good amount of snaps as a rookie. His targets per game was kind of low on those snaps. This is one of those guys where the opportunities was there, but the talent has me a bit concerned. But I don't foresee the opportunities being limited, right? Like he's going to still have a similar amount of opportunities next season. Now the situation is not going to change. Like you're going to have the Brady Cook out there at quarterback. It seems like Tyrod Taylor. Who knows who the Jets quarterback's going to be? You know, Kyler Murray, that could be sick. But I think Mason Taylor is somebody that he's going to have opportunities. I'm not saying he's going to do good with them because I don't think he is. But I like targeting guys like this that are lower in value and will have opportunities. Malik Willis. We saw him have a bit of a breakout in 2026. The 2 games he played, I mean, one of them was bad, and then he came out the next week, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, averages 50 rushing yards per game. He had 2 touchdowns in his massive breakout performance, and he also was able to sling the ball a little bit. Now, I think that was a bit of a fluke. I think he's a bit overvalued because of that, but there are quarterback-needy teams out there, and Malik Willis could be someone that breaks out on one of them. I love sending a 3rd-round pick currently because 3rd-round picks are not going to be great this year. I love sending a 3rd-round pick to go get Malik Willis if he's not available on waivers. Aronde Gadsden. Let's talk about him. Can he break out? I think so. Aronde Gadsden, the question with him was whether he could earn opportunities on the field based on blocking ability. And that's still kind of an open question. It was never a question about his receiving skills, which he definitely showed. We saw flashes here. You know, he was a healthy scratch the first 2 weeks, and I was like, listen, I'm cooked. I had him in my league. I drafted him in the round, I think round 4. And I was like, listen, we're cooked. But they had Will Dissly, they had Tyler Conklin. They both got phased out. You can see the snaps slowly increasing. Gadsden got phased in, and then he got phased out again. It was kind of a weird situation there. Still a crowded receiver situation, but Mike McDaniels, who just turned Darren Waller at 39 years old, from a rapper into dancing and doing the gritty in the end zone multiple times per game. What can he do with Aronde Gadsden, who this is a converted wide receiver pretty much in my eyes? He's going to be getting more targets, more looks, especially in the red zone. I think this is a good situation for Gadsden going forward, attached to Herbert. And it was a promising rookie season, so I do like targeting him as a breakout player. Jaden Higgins. I am out on Nico Collins. Why? Can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field, and the Texans' O-line sabotages CJ Stroud every single play. I am in on Jaden Higgins because the Texans' O-line will improve, and while Collins is 27 years old going on 28, Higgins is 23. I'm willing to wait that time. I think he's the 2nd receiver in this Texans offense. Wide receivers going into year 2 are the guys that you want to target for that year 2 breakout that everyone promises. And I saw some flashes here from Jaden Higgins throughout the season. Now, a lot of it was based on touchdowns, but he was scoring some touchdowns. You know, his touchdown rate was not that bad for a rookie wide receiver. He's a big-bodied asset. And, if Nico Collins misses more time, I think in year 2 of his career, Jaden Higgins will develop and probably be closer to that 13-point-per-game mark in 2025 when he gets more of those opportunities if Nico Collins were to go down. Christian Kirk, you're done. Noel, you're done. Both of those guys have the role in the slot, whereas Jaden Higgins will earn that out wide receiver role. We got to talk about Tyler Shough, my favorite buy right now. And you can see all these buys if you join the Discord, join the Patreon, even just join the Patreon for free. We appreciate that. But Tyler Shough, look at the breakout potential here. He already broke out. Like, this is one of those cases where the guy already broke out. It's just that the market is not reacting to it because he doesn't have that same it factor. He wasn't that flashy 1st-round pick. The Saints took him. Nobody knew the Saints were going to take him. But they found their guy. It's a 26-year-old rookie, if you can believe it. But in the back half of the year, he was averaging 20-plus points per game. He was averaging 30 rushing yards per game, and he was averaging 270 passing yards per game. The breakout already happened. You just don't know about it because that's not what the media and mainstream Dynasty community is pushing. His touchdown rate was low. His passing touchdown rate was low over these breakout weeks, meaning if he improves that passing touchdown rate, we could see him at 20 points per game consistently. I'm in on Tyler Shough. The Saints are going to surround him with more weapons. You have Olave. You might get Jeremiah Love in the draft or Jordan Tyson. So I'm excited about him for sure. Way, way, way too low in the overall Dynasty community rankings. Chase Brown, same thing. The breakout is here. It already happened. But again, you probably don't know that. 20 points per game over the back half of the season. And the good news here is that Chase Brown is currently in negotiations for an extension. That's what I was reading up on. And as soon as that happens, as soon as he signs a Kyren Williams, 3-year, $27, $28 million deal, first off, his value is going to go up. Like, everyone's going to then, oh man, Chase Brown's got the role unlocked. Listen, he's got the role unlocked, bro. Look at his stats. What are you talking about? Chase Brown, the breakout happened. Go buy him while people are not aware. Like, once it happens again for a second season, which it will, then they're going to be like, oh, he broke out. It's like, bro, that already happened. Brian Thomas Jr. Same thing. The breakout happened, and then it was an anti-breakout. So one of the good factors that I like to look at as well, I like seeing an anti-breakout, right? The anti-breakout, what I mean by that is that you have somebody that was producing at a high level, and then their production takes a hit. Listen, the actual underlying stats, he was still getting targets. That's important. He was still on the field. That's important. That didn't change. It was the efficiency that changed, which that can easily be changed just by the receiver, right? And he was also banged up. So maybe you can attribute some of it to injury. What I like to see here, I like to see guys that have been there before, especially as a rookie, because you only are supposed to get better. So when Brian Thomas Jr. he's shown his ceiling at 17 points per game, really higher, because in that 2024 season, he ended it averaging closer to 20 points per game over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a breakout year following this anti-breakout. So I like seeing that as an underlying factor to predict breakouts. The final one is Jaxson Dart. Now, he is soaring up the rankings while I keep making more and more videos about the guy. And I'm going to keep making videos about him. And he's 23. And honestly, like, if you asked me today, would I rather have Dart or Jefferson? I'd rather have Dart. Would I rather have Dart or Achane? I'd rather have Dart. And call me crazy, I think I'd rather have Dart than Caleb Williams. Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, Harbaugh. I don't care, because Jaxson Dart, I mean, the touchdown rate was insane. He had a touchdown on the ground for 6 weeks straight. You can take a look right here. This is the week that it happened. These weeks, I mean, you can count the 2 weeks right there, right? So he was averaging 50 rushing yards a game. He was passing the ball in a not great manner. So if he were to improve these passing stats, which if we looked at Drake May's rookie year, he had 30 rushing yards a game and bad passing stats. Drake May in 2025 had 200, he doubled his passing yards per game, and now Drake May is the number 2 dynasty asset overall. I think Jaxson Dart could follow us very, very scarily similar career trajectory, career arc. Don't be surprised if we see Jaxson Dart inside the top 10 next season. He's my must-buy player. You'll thank me later. Hopefully this video gave you a lot of good breakout players to target in trades. Not only that though, but helped you evaluate the important stats and metrics to go predict who the next breakout player can be. Opportunity matters, volume matters, situation matters, and age matters as well. Smash the like and subscribe button. I'll see you boys in the next one.